Is it exhausting blowing shit up all the time?
Not remotely. In fact, I wish it was a great deal more exhausting. And the reason I say that is because blowing shit up is fantastic when you get to do it, but I don't get to do it often enough, and most people don't. I would love to work with more consultancy clients who want me to blow shit up. I'd like to work with more organisations who want me to, and I'd love to see a lot more people doing that as well. So no, it's not exhausting enough yet, and I want it to be absolutely goddamn exhausting.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Get more sleep.
What advice would you give to someone like me who's just starting out?
Don't go into advertising to go into advertising. Go into advertising to make what you want to happen. I regularly say to leadership teams in advertising, if you want to take one micro action that will really provide you with some fresh ideas on how to take your agency forward and own the future, get together all the youngest people into the agency, give them a safe space to speak, and ask them to tell you exactly what they think about the job they do, the work they're being asked to do, the clients they're working with, the agency itself, and the industry they find themselves in. You will be absolutely fascinated by the ideas, and you'll come out of that discussion with some really interesting new ways to take the business forward.
So new people need to speak up, and the older people in the industry need to listen.
Absolutely.
Last year, you came to Dublin for the Web Summit, and in your talk you spoke about New World Order business. What exactly does that mean?
I talk a lot about the New World Order versus the Old World Order. And I do that because I am all about redesigning the future of business, and business very badly needs to be redesigned. So I talk about that in many different contexts, but I do it to really highlight to different industries and the people within them how they need to actively and consciously think differently about the way they want to take their business, their work and themselves into the future.
I've read that you've described yourself as a rampant feminist. In 2014, what exactly does feminism mean to you? How is it relevant?
I describe myself as a rampant feminist because whenever anybody asks me if I'm a feminist, that's how much of a feminist I am. And I agree with Caitlin Moran's excellent definition of feminism, in all but one respect, where she goes, do you have a vagina? Do you want to be in charge of it? If you answered yes to both questions, congratulations, you're a feminist. Now, I love that definition, although actually you don't have to have a vagina to be a feminist, because feminism simply means wanting gender equality in all things and believing in equal rights for everybody. That's feminism.
I read that you've won the Advertising Woman of the Year Awards, and in fact later this year IAPI are introducing a Woman of Tomorrow award. Why do you think awards like this and just in general it's so important to support specifically women in advertising?
Well, I think awards are important in any industry because they represent the gold standard of what work in an industry should be about, and they encourage the people within the industry to aspire to that standard, and they encourage people outside the industry to either want to enter it and aspire to the same thing or to be more interested in it. And so, you know, within the advertising world, obviously what I would much rather see is many more women winning industry-wide awards. But in the absence of that, then I think it's a very good idea to have dedicated female awards.
If you ran the world, what would be number one on your to-do list?
I mean, I get asked this question in connection with If We Ran the World a lot, and it would be exactly what If We Ran the World is all about. I would turn every single good intention into action. The single biggest pool of untapped natural resource in this world is human good intentions that never translate into action. If every single good intention every single one of us had on a daily basis was enabled to be translated into action immediately, we would unleash the most extraordinary power that could do amazing things in the world for each of us individually and for the world as a whole. And so that's ultimately what If We Ran the World is all about, and that's what I do, turn every good intention into action.
What a powerful wish to have. Thank you very much, Cindy Gallop.
Pleasure.